Welcome back to Africa This Morning. We are now on Table Talk, and today we are going to be discussing women in business. Joining us is Mary Muthoni. I started with your last name, Mary Muthoni, who is the entrepreneur and convener of Women in Business. And we have Evelyn Odongo, who has been here before. She's a fashion designer and membership coordinator for Women in Business. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
This is going to be a very beautiful conversation, considering that we are all interested in getting women to that platform of financial freedom. Share with us the history of Women in Business.
Women in Business basically is a committee of Kenya National Chamber of Commerce. The Kenya National Chamber of Commerce operates through committees, and they have about 14 of them, 10 to 14 of them. And Women in Business is just one of the committees. And it operates through the mandate and the constitution of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce. Basically, that's Women in Business. And we are mandated to go out there and reach out to more women, tell them what happens at the chamber, give them the benefits of joining the Women in Business committee so that we can expand our own businesses and at the same time expand and reach more women out there who would want to join business.
What is the unique aspect that you felt would be served by having a committee specifically focusing on women in business?
I think with the devolution coming in and with the constitution of Kenya right now, there are very many things. There are myriad things that women have been given, various platforms that the women have been given, in which I feel as a person, and in my own opinion, there's still a lot that we need to do to get to the woman core so that they can get awareness of what is happening in the country.
Evelyn, your story has been featured here on Table Talk, and it is familiar, but we would want a little bit of the history, even as we are talking about women in business. For you to get to this point, you're convening membership when it comes to the Women in Business Committee. What led you to that point? You'd want to get into business as a woman, and what were some of the misconceptions that you had to fight and deal with even as you're progressing your vision forward?
First of all, I really want to thank God for this opportunity. As a business owner and as a woman, there are a number of challenges in business and doing business. Some of the challenges that women face in business is things like lack of finance, either because when you're going to look for money in a bank or anywhere else, either they need your collateral, the title deed, what you own. And you've realized that women, sometimes these title deeds are not in women's names, or you still have to consult with somebody else. And there was a time when I was invited at Women in Business conference, the first conference that they had sometime in April. And I got to hear what the vision of the chambers is for the woman, and I got attracted to it. And again, I put it upon myself as a good steward. What can I do as a woman at the Chambers of Commerce through the Women in Business? And so much so that it's so important that I felt that I need to get involved in inviting more women to join Women in Business, because I was able to realize that in the number of committees that have been formed, there's someone in charge of tendering, somebody in charge of marketing, someone in charge of financing, and these are issues that women come across every day. And to find a way where you get to meet the top level management in these institutions to actually help you sort out these issues, what really attracted me to this. And the reason, in the capacity which I'm here as a business owner, I felt like, wow, for the first time, why not? And the fact that my issues would be sorted, I mean, I need to be part of this. And just also calling upon women to take up roles and get involved in the things that the government is also doing. Because sometimes we distance ourselves on saying, Serikali, you have no idea what is the idea. Then we have to move in and find out, what are you doing for us, or what is there for us that we are able to do. And I realize that it's a good place to be as a woman, and also able to articulate our issues to the government through the chambers. And it's an honor because, again, you're able to, I've come to realize that any country that wants to come into a nation to invest or to partner, they go through the chambers of commerce. So if I'm a member of chambers of commerce, then I have got that first-hand information and I'm able to go to this meeting.
Positioning yourself.
You position yourself. And if you're out there and you don't know what is happening, then you may not be in the, we always say being at the right place at the right time. So I think being a member of Women in Business is something a woman should not miss in at this time. And the fact that even we are moving towards the counties, we've got last week, on the meeting we had last week, we're actually commissioning the county representatives who are going to represent women in the counties. So it's about reaching out to the women, to the grassroots as well.
Before we finish the interview, right at Evelyn's doorstep, let's look at some of the advantages that are being presented through the chamber when it comes to looking at the realities that women are facing in terms of the challenges. Because Evelyn has just mentioned one, the fact that there's financial incapacitation of women when it comes to starting businesses. How are we dealing with such realities?
First of all, before we even go to the core things that are encouraging women to come, would like to probably talk about the subcommittees that the Women in Business have, which we have created or disintegrated into small pieces so that we can use the same platforms to reach more women. We have 20 conveners for Women in Business. This is just one branch of the Women in Business, which is in charge of liaison and membership. We have 19 others. There's somebody dealing with procurement and tendering. This is somebody who has the technical know-how of how tendering is done, how procurement is done, and the processes. We have someone who talks about export promotion from the EPC, the Export Promotion Council. That is somebody who can advise any woman who wishes to be in import and export business on the know-how. How do you go about it? How do you get to import? What are the challenges? We have somebody who also talks about the regional coordination, the inter-countries, you know, and especially from this region. There are those women who are already in businesses with Tanzania, Uganda, and they may want to know more. What is this at the region that is there for the women? Because it's broad. It's not just in the Women in Business in Kenya. It's really broad. Then we also have people who are in energy and renewable resources. This in the past had been taken as a male-dominated. Yes, male-dominated. But women are going out right now. We are going to Takana so that we can get a share of what is happening there. In fact, that might be my next business probably, you know.
And welcome to those who are interested in that.
I'm telling
but how
you,
are we dealing with the financial demands? Because that's the very important, the base strength
yes.
of a woman's capacity to take on business.
I'll also talk about the subcommittee of investment. At the moment, we are in talking terms with Chase Bank, and they're really going to come in to help the Women in Business Committee, give them special rates. Anybody who is going to be a member of the Women in Business Committee, then you're viable to walk into Chase Bank and have the various benefits that they are already putting on the table. We are not going to discuss that now because it's not cleared. So I would...
it's something that's in the work to ensure that it's a reality.
And by the end of this month, I can assure you, I can come back here and tell you what are the benefits that Chase Bank is giving us. So for now, let me just keep it under wraps.
Let's look at membership. For us to actually access the goodies that are in play, that are to come, that are already there. We need to be members. What does it take to be a member?